Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bill Levinson, managing partner with Levinson and Associates. With me today, we have the Joseph Loughran, our marketing vice president, and then, of course, our feature presenter, Seth Groff. Okay, so real quick, this is a huge opportunity for all Levinson agents, agencies, us as an IMO. Today really marks such a huge stance for let's say brokerage in the agent. Okay, now when I say direct to consumer, I'm referring to agent direct to consumer. Okay, and that's a big part there. When I say that word agent D2C, that's the big differentiator. And the reason why we're so excited, okay, and the reason why we couldn't wait to have this feature presentation today is because, and I'm sure all of you out there have heard about this direct to consumer, from carriers. In fact, Prudential was just the latest carrier to build a D2C, direct to consumer platform, okay, and a lot of scratch their head and say, wait a minute, how does Prudential compete with us? We're all talking to the same pool of clients and prospects, and, how is that fair? And, the answer to the question, first of all, they only market and solicit to certain groups of prospects, okay, usually through the group benefits side. But number two, the most important part, okay, is, and this has been done, by the way, with several carriers, and it's not anything new. Okay, I'm sure you've heard of AIG Direct, MetLife had a direct division, but the number 2 point, which is the most important point that we need to drive home, was, and just think about this and it'll make sense, how can, let's say even if Prudential went to all consumers, prospects across the country, how can they do that client justice by proposing, right, and illustrating one product from one carrier, right? We all know how that works. And that's why the days of the career type agent and captive agents are all pretty much gone by the wayside. That part of the industry is shrinking by the day. And the reason why, once again, is because how can you make sure that the client has the best product for their situation by proposing one product with one carrier? Okay? It's not going to happen. So yes, this has been done before, and it was my goal and dream, okay, and when I say this has been done before, I mean from carrier direct to consumer. And a lot of companies closed down those divisions, and some companies still have it set up today. But what my dream and vision was, and I started this about 7 years ago, was why can't we set up shop, right, or an online platform, and have our agents go direct to consumer, okay? So yes, still having your day-to-day business and focusing on those monster IULs and estate planning cases, but why not have this running on autopilot in the background, right? Why not go after that underserved millennial generation by giving them what they want, which is insurance products that are sold? Want you coming to their house on a Wednesday night and sitting at their kitchen table after the kids just went to sleep. They literally want to go on your website. They want to know who they're dealing with, right? Who they're doing business with, A. B, they're going to try to run a quote on your website, and C, if they can buy a policy on your website without having to speak to you, even on the phone, that's a win for them, and that's the way that they want to and they're used to doing business, right? Think of Amazon. It's the same approach as Amazon. So long story short, we are building, and in fact, it's almost done today. We have a Amazon shopping cart approach and experience for the consumer that all agents, so all Levinson agents, will be able to set up this shopping cart okay, on your website or through email blast or social media and have an experience very similar to Amazon. Just think about when you go on Amazon and let's say you go on after our webinar today and you want to buy a bag of dog food, let's say a baseball hat for the gym and maybe some running shoes, all by, 3 different manufacturers, 3 totally different products, but everything looks and feels the same online. And you check a box and you throw these 3 products into your shopping cart. You click the one-click purchase where they ship everything in 2 days, and you are done, okay? That is the way the younger generation wants to do business. You can fight it. You can say, well, that's not the way I run my operation, but that is happening right now today, okay? And you might not feel the effects of it yet, but I promise you in the very near future you will. So my only point is keep doing what you're doing, absolutely, but have this platform running on autopilot. And guess what? Yes, today we're talking about life insurance, critical illness, disability, these supplemental products. They're all lower face amount, lower premium products. But guess what? Okay, that younger generation client that goes on, runs a quote, and you have that click here to set up meeting button on your website, there's going to be a lot of times when you come across, let's say, a young professional, a doctor, an attorney, whatever the case is, and they want to set up the face-to-face meeting at Starbucks or set up that phone call at 8 o'clock tonight. So it's going to lead to other sales, but I can't encourage you enough to get this set up and running on autopilot. And if you think it's not going to happen, okay, and it's not going to affect your business, you're wrong. Okay, I'll give you a quick example, and then I'm done preaching. Real quick, think back, and I've already used this story, in fact, last week at our local Boca Raton meeting that we had here. But just think back for a second and say to yourself, okay, for those of you that have children, say to yourself, I never thought that I would see the day, okay, where I would let my 16-year-old daughter, okay, just turned 16, let my 16-year-old daughter ride around New York City in the back seat of some stranger's car, okay? You would have said there is no way in hell that my daughter is going to ride in the back seat of some guy's car in the middle of New York City. It's not happening, okay? You probably would have said that about 10 years ago. Okay, let's fast forward to today. Most 16-year-old women, okay, in New York City would rather have a $10,000 Uber gift card than to have the keys to a brand new car. And guess what? You, the father or the mother, are okay with it. In fact, you'd rather have your daughter ride around in an Uber and come from a party on a Saturday night, okay, because you know she's going to be safer and better off. So look what Uber has done to the industry. Look what Uber has done to Yellow Cab. Look how things have changed so fast. So if you think it's not going to happen, it's happening today, and it's going to affect your business in the very near future. So you need to be proactive, okay? Think back, and I love this example too. Think about what TV did to radio. Right? In the 1930s and 40s, everyone had a radio and their AM stations, and then TV came along and totally disrupted the market. Internet is doing the same thing to TV now. It's happening today. Okay, even look at Netflix. Look at all these online pay stations and movie channels. Okay, look what they're doing just to TV and cable. It's taking over. So anyway, I'm done pointing this out, but I'm just trying to drive home the fact that you must be proactive and have a great looking website and have these products where a client can go on, run a quote, and buy online, where you still get full commissions plus renewals. That's what today's presentation is all about. Let's move forward real quick. We're going to talk about, and this is just again to drive home my fact of things are changing, okay? Real quick, these are a listing, okay, of the top 5 insurance tech startup companies in 2018. So if you think the industry is not making a shift right now, you're wrong. So I just wanted to point this out. That top company there, Zhong An Insurance, okay, $931 million of net worth. They're focused on driving those sales online. Oscar Health Insurance, $892 million. Zenefits, $583 million. At the bottom there, Policy Bazaar, $346 million company. All startups this year. Okay, so again, I'm just showing you where all the eyeballs are going, where these points are moving towards, and we all need to make sure that we're proactive because it's happening. I'm not saying, let's create a tech startup and change our whole business model. No, all I'm saying is keep doing what you're doing. Go after those big ticket items. But have your CRM tool, have your website, have your marketing and social media running on autopilot as an insurance agent. Very, very important. Okay, moving forward here. Okay, this is just a quick statistic that I wanted to point out. The millennial state of mind, making up 24% of the U.S. population today. Millennials are the most underinsured group of adult consumers. They all know they need it, but they don't have it. Okay, so once again, it's your job to market your name, get your name out there, and start driving traffic to your website. It is so important, and now we'll have access to over 10 different products that can all be sold via website. And if you know anyone too, think about, P&C agencies, think about mortgage companies, think anyone that you can network with and send out your e-blast, right, to all of their consumers. There's so many ways to drive traffic, and we have all the tools that are going to help you do exactly that. The first tool is, most important, your new brick and mortar is your website. This is your storefront. Okay, now think about, I use this all the time. Think about this analogy. You're opening a new McDonald's. You want to make sure your McDonald's is on the best corner on University Drive and Sample Road in South Florida because you want the most exposure, the most traffic. Same thing goes for your website. So make sure it looks great, very professional, black and white, easy to use. Everything has to work, functioning buttons. You don't want a consumer to hit about us. I want to see what Bill Levinson, what he's about, who he is. And they click the button and it says not loaded yet or not finished or whatever the case is. No, it's like having a McDonald's with only half of the store open. Okay, you must start thinking like this. And we have the website builder option. It's free for all Levinson agents. And this allows you a turnkey approach to have your whole website up and running and to have these Sell While You Sleep products built in so a client can go on your website because it's about driving traffic and you want them to stop at your McDonald's, right? Don't forget about that concept. They're going to stop in, they're going to run a quote, sign up online. They can get approved within a day or two, depending on the product, and boom, you're done. You wake up in the morning, commissions are there. You can follow up with that client the next day, maybe cross-sell, whatever the case is, and that's it. That's the way that the system is set up to run. It's very, very cool stuff here that has never been done before. Okay, so the next slide just gives you a 100-foot overview on some of our latest products by SureBridge. Seth is going to dive in just a minute and make sure that you are familiar with the latest addition to the Sell While You Sleep platform. I'm also going to mention one more thing. First off, Seth, what he's going to talk to you about is something unique to the brokerage space, okay, which is where we all are in. That's our home, right? And this has never been done before. It was only available in that semi-captive channel prior. So he's going to talk about some new products, including we have a guaranteed issue critical illness plan, a guaranteed issue DI plan, guaranteed issue supplemental health products we're going to touch on. And then, of course, we have a term to $200,000. We have a critical illness product issuable to age 90. These are all game changers. And what's neat, yes, you'll be able to sell these from your website and through eBlast and your social media pages. And I encourage you to have your own free YouTube channel, right? So you can talk about these great products in your website and who you are and start to brand yourself. It's all free, okay? Most important, the big picture, okay? In fact, we're almost done now. So after today's webinar, you can get set up with our free website, or if you have your own, and you can start marketing these Sell While You Sleep products this afternoon. But the big picture and what Levinson is building today, and it really is a dream come true for me, okay? Think back again with that Amazon approach, that shopping cart. You're going to have one turnkey platform, okay, that looks very user-friendly, and it's your shopping cart or platform, okay? Each platform has a unique URL coded just to you, which means anyone that buys a product on that Amazon kind of website, you get full commissions and renewals for, okay? And the way that platform is going to look, your client can go in, they can run quotes for all the products side by side, sign up online. Most of the products are approved same day, either e-policy delivery or the policy gets mailed direct to your consumer. It's 100% turnkey, like a one-stop shop. Think Amazon, but for all kinds of insurance products, and not just the ones that are inflated with super high premiums. These are competitive niche products that no one else has. So we are so excited about that. You will see the official Sell While You Sleep platform launching in the next 4 to 10 weeks. So we'll have another webinar on that. So just for today, we are launching our latest Sell While You Sleep products that you can literally get set up and start marketing and selling this afternoon. So without further ado, Seth is going to dive into our latest products, show you where they stand out. And I don't care if you're on the life side, the health side, the P&C side, it doesn't make a difference. You are going to literally, okay, and I don't mean to embellish this or make it sound better than it is, but you're going to see stuff you've never seen before. Without further ado, Seth Groth, everyone.
All right. Well, thanks, Bill. And, you know, I'm excited about this relationship because anytime that I'm going out and, you know, talking to agents or talking to agencies and trying to provide value, I always try to hit on one of three things. I either want to show them how they can grow their business, or two, how they can lower their costs, or three, how I can help them save them time. And by seeing the Sell While You Sleep platform and everything that you just went through, what's crazy is that hits on all three of those things. You know, it's a way that an agent can grow their business. It's going to lower costs, and it's going to create more time for them. And so I'm excited about being on the platform. And then with what SureBridge has to offer, it's like a match made in heaven because our products are all designed to be sold in that type of a situation. So I'm really excited about the relationship, and yeah, showing agents just how SureBridge can fit in their portfolio, help provide benefits to their clients, and at the end of the day, you know, ultimately help them make more money. So if you're not familiar with SureBridge, the first thing that I do want to point out is that SureBridge is just the marketing name for the Chesapeake Life Insurance Company. And so if you are going through the contracting process and something comes across Chesapeake Life, it still is going to be SureBridge. SureBridge is just going to be the marketing name that we use. But our overall philosophy is really trying to hit on three things. Number one is going to be speed and convenience. You know, I travel around, go to industry meetings, you know, throughout the country, meet with several different people, know a lot of people at other carriers, and everybody's out there promoting the speed and convenience aspect of applying and getting policies issued. A lot of them say it, but not too many companies actually do it. And the one thing that I like about SureBridge is that it is truly speed and convenience for the client. You can see up there that over 90% of the submissions are issued in real time. There's, as Bill said earlier, there's some guaranteed issue products that obviously they're going to be issued at the point of sale. But even like the underwritten products, like the critical illness policy or a hospital indemnity policy, 90% of them are issued at the point of sale. So these are true simplified issue products, and we're trying to get them issued and out the door as soon as possible. Also, you're going to see that we really like to leverage technology, and we like to adapt the application process to the client. And so you can see that when you're going through and doing the application online, you're going to have several different signature options. You're going to have your traditional face-to-face, you're going to have your email, you can even do a voice signature, and then just recently, within the past, I think 2 weeks, we just launched a new text signature. So we're always trying to make the process as easy as possible for the client. The second thing that we want is we want a robust portfolio. You know, if you're out there writing supplemental health products, a lot of times you're going to be writing multiple products. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that we offer a product in each category, and so that you can write them all with one company. And the reason that's an advantage to you and to the client is that it's going to be one application, so it reduces the paperwork, thus saving time. And then number two, when it's drafted from that individual's checking account, there's only going to be one check or one draft, even if there's multiple products. So we have a broad portfolio, which we're going to talk about. Also, we hit on this a little bit. We believe in true simplified underwriting. So this means real-time approvals, and we're just underwriting these based on the application. So there's no MIBs, no script history, no personal history interview. These are going to be true simplified issue. Fill out the application, apply, get issued, get that policy out the door. And then finally, we are huge on technology at SureBridge. You will use an online point of sale tool where you can quote and apply. We don't have paper applications. And so, you know, if you're old school, still like the paper apps, we're not going to be a good carrier for you, but everything's going to be done on our point of sale tool where you can quote, show multiple options, apply. If you want the consumer to fill out the application, you can email them a link and they can complete it. So everything's going to be done online. This speeds up the process and allows us to get these policies issued and out the door. So the e-application, as I mentioned, it's our own system that we developed, which makes it quick and easy. Agent contracting is all done online. So after today's call, reach out to Levinson and Associates, get contracted. I'd recommend getting contracted as soon as possible. The reason for that is that because you'll get the access to the point of sale tool, you can begin, you know, researching the products, get everything out of the way so that when you do have a case, you're up and ready to go. And then also we have a great broker portal where you can review your book of business, commission statements, and all the training that you need. So with that, we have our portfolio broken up into two different categories, the senior market and the under 65 market. You're going to see that most of the products that we sell are going to be supplemental products. And so a lot of these products are going to be sold in conjunction with a major med sell or with a senior product like a med sup or a med advantage sell. So we have it divided up into the senior market. So you can see we have a great hospital-wise product or hospital indemnity product, which we'll cover today. Senior vision. We have the senior dental. Those are going to be two popular products in the senior market for SureBridge. Our new critical illness product, which is called CI-Wise, which actually goes all the way out to age 90. For a critical illness policy, which is huge. And then also we have a final expense product that can be sold in that senior market as well. In the under 65 market, you can see a lot of the same products are going to be there with the hospital-wise and CI, also with the dental and the vision. But then also in the under 65, we also have a great suite of accident products. And so a lot of times when you see that major med sell, someone's packaging a critical illness policy and an accident and maybe a dental or maybe a critical illness and a hospital indemnity policy. And so you can see that we have a broad portfolio of products. And in addition to that, this is also where our individual DI policies come into play with our income protection direct and our accident DI product, which both have a guaranteed issue amount available for the client. So as you can see, we have a broad portfolio. We're not going to talk about all these today because it would take quite a while, but really what I want to hit on is I want to hit on the two new products, which is going to be the new hospital-wise new CI product. And then we'll take a look at the dental and vision real quick and then wrap it up with the term product. So with that, with the hospital-wise and looking at the needs, You can see up on the screen here that the average length of hospital confinement is 4.5 days. We all know that with the Affordable Care Act, the maximum out-of-pocket limits are, pushing up in almost to $15,000 for a family. And then the average cost of a hospital confinement is $10,400. Personally, I was in the hospital. It's probably about a year and a half ago. I was in there right at 24 hours. It was like 25 hours, I think. I actually had ended up, I ran a marathon, and when I completed, I collapsed and I was having some issues. And so I got, had to go to the hospital for a day for observation. And when I walked out of there, my bill was north of $20,000, and that was for just 25 hours in the hospital. And so obviously I hit my maximum out-of-pocket cost. And the good news is that I actually did have a hospital indemnity plan, which helped cover some of that cost, and I did have money in a health savings account that helped cover that out-of-pocket cost. But I was just sitting there and thinking, like, what if I didn't have those? What if I just had to write a check out of my pocketbook for $6,000 to cover my out-of-pocket expenses? It scared me. And I know that there's a lot of Americans out there that just don't have the savings to cover it. And so these products like the Hospital-Wise really do help eliminate that risk, and just provides peace of mind that they're not going to have to write a check for it. So with this, as you can see, issue age is all the way up to age 90. So you can, write it in that senior market. A couple of things that I like to point out is that, remember, the underwriting is true accept reject. So we are not, let me repeat, we are not ordering MIBs, script checks, or personal history interviews. We're underwriting these based on the application. Obviously, you do need to answer the questions honestly on the application. Otherwise, it's going to have a 6-month and 6-month pre-X. So during the first 6 months of the policy, it'll look back and see if they've had treatment for those conditions for 6 months prior to the application. Other than that, there's no waiting period. So if you're hospitalized and you were honest on the app, this is going to pay day one. And the way that it works is that you're going to have some base benefits built in. So the first thing is you're going to select your daily hospital confinement, anywhere from $50 to $1,000 a day, and that's going to be in increments of $50. There's also an observation benefit, which is huge because it pays a benefit equal to 100% of the daily confinement benefit for periods of observation between 12 and 24 hours. And in my personal scenario where I was in, the hospital for observation, and this was before I was actually working at SureBridge, so it was a different company's hospital indemnity plan. But that plan, I had to hit that 24-hour mark. If I didn't hit that 24-hour mark, guess what? I wouldn't have received any benefit. And luckily I was in there right at 25 hours, so it paid. But this observation benefit, even if they're just in for observations from 12 to 24, they're going to get that daily benefit. And then also $250 a day for a maximum of 7 days per year due to a mental nervous disorder. So that's going to be huge as well, because that's always a concern for consumers if they have mental health issues. Here are some of the other optional benefits, and I'm going to show you an example of how you can kind of pick and which of these different benefits you want. With the hospital confinement rider, this is the lump sum. So this is going to really be designed so that if you do have that 1 day confinement, that you get a large lump sum to help, cover that deductible. Outpatient surgery rider, pretty self-explanatory. Skilled nursing facility rider, this is really popular in that senior market, especially because some of the Med Advantage plans has kind of a hole there in the marketplace as far as not being covered for being confined to a skilled nursing home. So you can select a daily benefit of $100 to $500 on that. Emergency care rider, this is just going to pay if you go to the emergency room. Ambulance rider, it's going to pay $100 to $500 if you have ambulance transportation. Again, when I was in the hospital, I took a ambulance ride, and that ambulance ride, I remember getting the bill for it, and it was $1,100, and it was not a very far ambulance ride. It was probably about 30 blocks was all, and it was over $1,000. So that can be pricey. And then outpatient diagnostic rider is going to be a great benefit as well. And then finally, a wellness benefit that pays $50 once a year for any of these tests. So that really helps reduce that overall premium paid, because if they're doing any of these, they're going to get $50 back. So here's how it looks in an actual sales scenario. We have Jane just recently turned 65, which a lot of Americans, as you know, are hitting 65 every day. And she enrolled in a low-cost Medicare Advantage plan. Now, the problem, she does like the Med Advantage plan because she likes the cost of it. However, as you can see, there's some holes in her plan. First of all, she's responsible for $285 a day for the first 5 days in a hospital. Outpatient surgery has a $250 copay, emergency care, $80 copay, ambulance, $200 copay, nursing confinement, $175 a day, and then major diagnostic exams, 20% coinsurance. So what we were able to do with this policy is we did the base policy of 6 days for $300 a day, and that was $25. So that's going to help cover that $285 of her responsibility. We added the outpatient surgery rider, and then we added the emergency care rider, the ambulance rider, and the skilled nursing rider. So you can see that what we're doing is we're filling in all these holes. So we sat down, looked at the Med Advantage, looked at where her out-of-pocket costs were, and then we customized a plan that fills all those holes. And you can see that we can do this for Jane for only about $50 a month. And so if you're in that senior space and you're selling Medicare Advantage plans, you need to take a look at Hospital-Wise because it can be an additional sell that really helps eliminate some of those holes. If you're in the under 65 market, here would be an example. William, 40 years old, just had to enroll in the ACA plan, a lot of out-of-pocket costs. And so they did a base policy, lump sum hospital confinement rider, outpatient surgery rider, emergency care, ambulance, and outpatient diagnostic. And you can see that he can do the whole family for $115 a month. Otherwise, maybe he just wants to do him. Maybe he just wants to do him and his kids. He has several different options. And you can see that it's going to be very affordable and really help cover some of those out-of-pocket costs. Because, even with kids and have, that play sports, they, hurt their knee, they have to go to the emergency room. That's usually going to be, $500 to $1,000 each time in the emergency room. And so this can really help cover some of those out-of-pocket costs. So again, this is a new product that just launched earlier this month, September 1st. And so we're excited for it because it works both in the senior market and in the under 65 market. Here's going to be the underwriting questions. So you can see that what the look back periods are going to be and how they're going to read and if it's going to cause any problems. Really pay attention to the years in the question because, if they haven't, they had a heart attack 6 years ago, it doesn't matter. They're still going to be able to get it issued. So really take a look at that. The questions on the application are pretty self-explanatory, but as long as they're, these don't apply to them, they're going to get that policy issued. Also, you can see that the medications that are going to be acceptable and not cause any issues. So that's the new HI policy. Now what I want to talk about is the new critical illness or CI-WISE plan. And we all know this. We've all seen the statistics. I'm a big believer in critical illness. When I started in the industry, the insurance industry, the very first insurance product that I purchased was a critical illness policy. So before I purchased life insurance, I purchased critical illness. And the reason for that is because it just made sense. I had one of my buddies that had just recently had cancer. He was under the age of 30. It just really struck me. He survived, but he just had a lot of out-of-pocket costs. And as I seen it, watched him struggle financially to recover, and then I learned about this critical illness product, it just really made sense. And so I'm a firm believer in it, and I really like this new CI-WISE, and we all know the statistics. It happens. We all know somebody, and so there is a true need for these critical illness policies. So the 4 questions that everybody uses, who do you know that's been diagnosed with a heart attack, cancer, or stroke? Was it expected? Obviously, no. Did it create emotional or financial stress? Yes. And would a lump sum check have helped to ease the burden? Those are the 4 questions you use when selling critical illness. You don't have to overcomplicate it. It makes sense. Everybody knows somebody that's went through one of these conditions and how their life was impacted. So here's how the policy is going to work. And you really need to pay attention to this because it's going to be a little bit different than other CI policies you're probably familiar with. First of all, you're going to start off with either CancerWise or HeartWise. The CancerWise portion, and what we did is we actually broke it out so that you can kind of do an a la carte policy. And so like other CI policies, if you've had any of the conditions, right? If you've had cancer, you're not going to qualify. Or if you've had critical illness, you're not going to qualify. And so with this policy, what we did is we broke out each category. So we have a cancer category, a heart category, and then a critical conditions category. And what we did is we've broken them out. And so if you only want two of them, because you've had one of the covered conditions, you can get two of them, or you can get all three if you're healthy. So you're either going to start with CancerWise or HeartWise. There's not a benefit to starting with either, one or the other. But then you're going to add the riders. So you can add the critical conditions rider, and then you can add the other heart, stroke, cancer rider. And then that way you have three basically buckets of benefits that you're going to receive. The additional riders that you can add, then there's also recurrence benefit, which we'll take a look at, and then also that wellness benefit as well. And so when you look at this policy, again, Bill mentioned we have issue ages all the way out to age 90 on this. So all the way 0 to age 90, which is huge. And then the other thing that I like to point out on that is that, and Bill mentioned this as well, is that we actually have a guaranteed issue amount. And so let me take a step back and explain this. So let's say that you've had cancer and you want to still be covered for a first new diagnosis of cancer. You can get a guaranteed issue amount for $10,000, $5,000 or $10,000. So if you're diagnosed with now obviously if you've had the condition, it's not going to pay. But if you're diagnosed with a new occurrence, then that is going to pay. Your other options would be to just not select that bucket of money. So if you've had cancer, you could still do your heart and your critical conditions rider and have, up to 100,000. The other thing that I like to point out is that this is true simplified issue all the way up to 100,000. And so a lot of our competitors, they max out at 50,000 or 75,000 of critical illness, and ours goes all the way out to 100,000. The other thing is that this stays in force for the rest of their life as long as they pay the premiums. And so I know that some of the other simplified products maybe, only stay in force for, 10 years, or maybe they terminate at age 75. This is going to stay in force for the rest of their life. And so that's going to be huge as well. And then also remember that this is true except reject underwriting. So we are not doing MIB script checks or personal history interviews. This is all underwritten based on the application. So these get cranked out really fast. So like I mentioned, it's going to have three different buckets. You're going to have your heart category, your cancer category, and your critical conditions rider. You can, do heart and critical condition. You can do just heart and cancer. And so you can kind of mix and match. But if you add all three, then it looks like a true full comprehensive critical illness plan. Then we also have the recurrence rider. And so as you can see, it's going to pay a lump sum benefit if they have a reoccurrence. And so you can see that the requirement is reoccurrence must follow a period of 365 days during which the insured was symptom and disease free or experience a period of remission. And so, if they're diagnosed with cancer and the doctor says, look, you're good, it's in remission, they're healthy for over 365 days, and then it comes back. If you have that rider, it's going to pay it again. And so you can add it to the invasive cancer, or you can add it to the heart attack, stroke, or you can do both. And so it's going to be huge, and we'll show you what that can result in as far as payouts. And then also that wellness rider, that's going to be the same. That's on the hospital indemnity, which if they're out there getting these, you might as well just add this. Like I know that my company, I go out and I do a blood draw every year, and they test my blood. Well, have this rider. Once I get that done, I submit the claim request, and I get $50. And so it really helps offset some of my premium and makes it really going to be affordable. So here's what it looks like. You can see that if we had $50,000 benefits, that we could receive it once in each category. So you could receive it for cancer, you could receive it for heart attack, you could receive it for one of the critical conditions rider. And then if I had that reoccurrence and cancer came back, I'd get 50%, same with the heart and stroke. And so you can see here that if he was really unlucky and had 2 heart attacks and multiple diagnoses of cancer, that $50,000 benefit could potentially pay out $200,000. And so it's a pretty comprehensive plan, especially when you look at the fact that it's underwritten on a simplified issue chassis. And so that's going to be huge. And you can see from a cost perspective, age 35 and the potential out-of-pocket costs associated with one of these conditions, and they were each able to get coverage for each of them and their kids for about $100 a month. So very affordable, very quick and easy to get issued, and it's a real popular product. As far as individual policies, last year SureBridge wrote the most individual policies, individual CI policies in the industry. So that just, I think, is a testament to the quality of the product, but also the quality of the process. Here's what it looks like in the senior market. You got age 65 and older. Now, obviously, these are going to be lower amounts. We only did 20,000. But again, for Victor and Sandy, very affordable, and they can help cover some of those out-of-pocket costs associated with, being a senior. So here's going to be the knockout questions, and we can send this, PowerPoint out to everybody so that you have it, so that you know what's going to be the knockouts. The thing, though, always to remember is that even if they can't qualify, remember that they always can fall back on that guaranteed issue amount for first diagnosis. So, so even if they've had some health issues, they're still going to be able to get a policy. And then again, some common acceptable medications that they can take a look at. But here's how we compete. Here's some other competitors that are in that senior market. And as you can see, first of all, I think our plan's a lot more comprehensive. And then look at the pricing, man. In that senior market, we are just priced really competitive. And we're also priced real competitive in the under 65 market. But I look at these rates for the over 65, and I'm just like, holy cow, how much more affordable we are than our competitors out there. And so, and ours is going to be, remember, that true simplified issue. So we're not doing the script check. We're not doing the personal phone interview. We're underwriting on the application. So quick and easy, and get that coverage in place. With those two new products, you can kind of see the list of where the products are approved. I'm sure we have a lot of folks in Florida. The hospital-wise plan is available today. The new CI product is not. However, our old product is still available. So if the product isn't approved, the new one's not approved yet, we still have our old CI product, which is a great product as well. The only downside is that the max issue age is going to be 63. And then also the other thing is that you can't carve out the categories, and it's only a one and done product. So it only pays out the benefit once, but still it's a great product, same process, same quick and easy, but it doesn't have that high issue age. And then it also doesn't have that 3 category approach would be the big difference. So with that, the other products I want to hit on real quick is just going to be the vision plan at SureBridge. The thing that people like about this plan is, number one, is that the day one coverage. So this is going to be guaranteed issue, and they could get it issued, apply for it in the morning, issued by the afternoon, and then they could be at, go and get an eye exam the next day. So that's one thing that people like about this vision plan. Remember, 100% is going to be covered for eye exams. This is going to utilize the iMed network. And so if you're not familiar with the iMed network, that's going to include providers like Target, Sears, LensCrafter, Pearl Vision, and then a lot of other private practitioners. If you live in a pretty populated city, you're going to, you're not having any problems finding providers. Once you say Target, LensCrafters, most people are going to be pretty up on it. Also, what I always point out is that you can see that frames are going to be paid up to $120, 100% up to $120. So think about this. For a non-senior, the cost of this plan, or let's just use a senior for easy math. So a senior, it's $10 a month, right? And they can go out and they can get frames up to $120. Well, right there, that's what they pay, right? So at the very least, they can go out and get a new pair of frames and, and get their premium back. With the frames. The other thing that I like about this is that the family, okay? So you can see that if 2 people, it's either going to be $16 or $18. But if you do a whole family, it's just $25. And so if you have mom and dad and several kids, look at that, $25, and you can get this coverage for the entire family, which is going to be huge. And as I mentioned earlier, it's going to be on the iMed network. PPO Dental, we sell a lot of our dental plan as well. This is going to use the Carrington network for it. The thing that people like about this is that your type 1 coverages are going to be available day one. And so, if your type 1 coverages are going to be your general cleanings and things of that nature. But, same thing. This is going to be guaranteed issue. You apply for it in the morning. It gets issued that afternoon. And then the next day they could go get, a type 1 benefits, cleanings, and things of that nature. There is going to be a wait on the type 2 and type 3. Obviously, type 2 is going to be 6 months, and type 3 is going to be 12 months. There's 2 different policies. You either can do the Premier or Basic. Just kind of depends on what they're looking for and what type of cost they want to incur. So PPO Dental, very simple, very easy to understand. What I always do is I just show them the brochure, which lists the type 1, type 2, type 3 coverage. The rest is pretty self-explanatory as far as the dental plan is concerned. And then it uses the Carrington network, which, has thousands and thousands of providers throughout the United States. The one thing that I have ran into, I'm from Nebraska, and, if you're in Omaha or Lincoln or, those are going to be the 2 big cities. There's a lot of providers. If you work in a real rural area, that sometimes the Carrington network, like if you get it clear out in western Nebraska, there might not be a lot. But as long as you're in the city populations, you're going to have good coverage. The accident plan that we sell the most of is going to be Accident Companion. What this does is you select one of the 4 tier options. And the big benefit is just going to be if you're confined to a hospital due to an accident, it's going to pay that lump sum. So if you have the plan 4, it's $10,000. You're confined to a hospital for an accident. Here's $10,000. That's going to help cover your out of pocket. There's also the benefit for the emergency treatment. One of the cool things about this product is that kids can be a primary insured. So you do not have to have, your mom or one of the parents and the kid. I've seen people just put this on their kids because they like that emergency treatment because their kids play sports and they know that sometimes they twist a knee, maybe break a bone, and they end up in that emergency room. And so they just like it on the kids. And then they also like that follow-up physical therapy benefit of either $50 or $100. So this is going to be very affordable, very easy to explain. And then the cost of it is just going to be $7.50 per tier. So you do tier 1, it's $7.50. You do tier 4, it's going to be $30. So very quick, easy, and easy to understand. And that's going to be our number 1 selling accident policy. But as you saw on the earlier slide, there's going to be quite a few. So what I want to do just real quick is show you how easy it is to quote and start the application process. And so this is going to be the agent portal. Like I said, if you get contracted today, you'll get your agent number next week. And then you would be able to log in here, quote, and start applying for products. But you're just going to go to SureBridge, quote, and apply. And I would do a build a proposal. And really, this is the reason I demo this is because this is a huge part of our value proposition, just of how easy it is to quote and apply for these products. So I'm going to put in a zip code in Nebraska. So as you can see, I can show 3 quotes to a client, so I can do a good, better, best scenario. All I do is I come out here and I click Add Plans. And let's say that I know I want the dental plan, and so I want the basic dental plan on all 3. I know I want it, so I'm going to add that to all quotes. Then let's say that I want to see what the accident companion plan is, and I'm going to lower this but I only want to see this on 2 quotes. So I do add to quote 2, add to quote 3. And then let's say I want critical illness policy, and I'm just doing all of them. But I just want to see this on, I'm going to lower this just a hair. I just want to see this one on quote number 3. Click done. So now you can see that I can show the client, here's quote 1, just the dental, here's quote 2 with the dental and the accident, and then here's quote 3 with the accident, critical illness, and the dental. Now, so like I said, it's a good, better, best scenario. At SureBridge, we average between 2.5 and 2.75 products per application. So if you did all 3 of them, you just have to fill out 1 application, and it's only going to be 1 draft from that client's paycheck. So also the other thing you have from here is that you could click email, and it would email the this quote to the consumer, and then they would choose and fill out the rest of the application. Or if you wanted to continue filling out the application, you would just click select, and then you would, as the agent, you would continue to fill out the application and then choose one of the various signature options. So I'm not going to go through it. I just wanted to show you how easy it is to quote and apply. I mean, I could be through this this entire application in less than 5 minutes. So it's always going to be quick, easy, and really convenient for the client, and people like it. So the last product that I want to talk about is our term product. It's going to be a simplified issue term up to $200,000. It's going to be a little bit more underwritten than the health products. Here's what I always say, term insurance typically isn't considered cool. But, how could you make term cool? And I said, I came up with 3 things. What if the process was designed to make the application process simple for the client? What if the client could use the policy if they die or if they live? And then what if the client could convert to a permanent policy if their health took a change for the worse? All 3 of those things would be cool. And so here's the process. You determine the amount, you quote, you apply. It's going to do a prescription check. It's going to hit the MIB, and then it's going to do a phone interview if necessary. It's only going to do a phone interview if there's discrepancies on the application and those 2 things. Other than that, it's going to get issued. You can choose to have it mailed to you or mailed to the client, and then there is going to be a delivery acknowledgement that they do need to sign and return, but that's it. These are quick, easy issue. They get generated. We're sending out about 60% of them are going to be issued the same day. About 40% of them unfortunately have discrepancies that require a phone interview, and then that slows down the process. But 60% are getting issued the same day. The reason they're not is either one, the application wasn't filled out properly, or they aren't telling the truth on the application. But otherwise, it's going to be quick and easy. You can see there's going to be 2 options. 10 and 20 year. This is true simplified issue up to 200. This is 200, but it's actually 250,000. But the one rider that I wanted to talk about this is going to be the critical condition rider that's available on the 10-year plan. This is a true dollar for dollar acceleration of the death benefit. This is a pay for benefit, so it does cost money, but it's a true dollar for dollar. So what I mean by that is that if you have a $50,000 critical conditions rider and you have one of the conditions, it's not a situation where you have to submit the claim, then the carrier comes back and says, well, we're going to accelerate 50,000, but we're only going to write you a check for 10,000. This is true dollar for dollar acceleration. So if you have one of the conditions and accelerate it, they're going to send you an actual check for 50,000. And I really like this type of riders. I know there's a lot of other critical and chronic riders out there that will accelerate, and they say they're free of cost, but really your cost is what you're giving up for the death benefit and the amount that you're accelerating. So I like this rider. It can be on the 10-year term, and some people like going this route instead of writing an individual CI policy. It's up to you. The CI policy is going to be a little bit more comprehensive, but here's an option on the term as well. So with that, That's what I had prepared today. Bill, are you still there?
Yep, that was perfect. Good stuff, Seth. So this was just an overview. So I want everyone to know there's much more under the covers here, and we're going to have another webinar once the official platform is launched. That was just a little teaser there, Seth. You did a fantastic job, and I want everyone to know all of those products. Yes, they're client driven and your client can purchase from an email or your website, but you can also do this face to face and turn your laptop around. You can do this through email. You can do this over the phone, whatever is convenient for you and your prospect, okay? And there's full commissions, double-digit renewals in some cases on some products. So the chance to make good money here is available. It's here. Resident licensing fees and non-resident fees are paid for by the carrier, okay, as long as you have business in that state. So that's another huge plus. All online contracting. And just remember, yes, you know, we're pushing these products. We think it's so important. The big ticket stuff, IUL, you know, big term with ROP, yes, I believe that's still, you know, a face-to-face sale or over the phone. You're still going to work your existing book, but this is crucial to have on autopilot running in the background. Okay, I know we're almost out of time here. Joe's going to take just a couple minutes and do a shortened version of how to get this message out with some of our technology and marketing tools. We have another future webinar. I'll give you the date in just a minute, but Joe will just give you a quick teaser on our marketing platform. Joe?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So obviously, with all these new products that are going to be, client-driven, really kind of gives your website that robust feel and all the different features that you can use through our marketing platform. So I just want to touch base real quickly. We've got some new updates to the website builder, new calculators added that are built into the system. Also, we're seeing a huge opportunity. Of course, social media has always been great for agents to do marketing, but now that you have even more client-driven products, posting that ad, driving traffic to your website by using social media, it's one of the best outlets you can use. So we've got this social media and website integration section on KerryLevinson.com. You can actually go there, watch the videos. We even have different packages to help you get your social media marketing up and running. So that is available again on KerryLevinson.com. We'll send out all the details in this afternoon's email. In addition, that Automator Platform 2.0, this is really, how you're going to drive traffic. So you have all these great products, your great website. The most important thing is how do you get in front of new people? And that's what Automator 2.0 does by building that custom website, having those prospects, again, sending out 1,000 emails every single month to a specific group of people that are more likely to buy those products, all inside of Agency Automator 2.0. And at the bottom there, we just added the new target marketing tool. So people in your zip code will see your information when they go online and research different insurance products, and you can keep your name in front of your clients, which is the name of the game. So again, all that information available on KerryLevinson.com, but using these products integrated with your website and Automator 2.0 is really kind of going to develop that online sales presence and really kind of help you take it to the next level when it comes to these products.
Okay, thanks, Joe. All right, just 2 more slides and we are done. I know it's a lot of information and I apologize. Joe, if you can mute those lines, we're getting a little interference. Just jot down these dates, okay? Very important. You want to start using this, utilizing the technology. We put together these 4 live trainings every single week, okay? Every day, 2 p.m. Eastern. Obviously, the day depends on what that topic is. You can see the little chart in front of you, and then you can jump on our website under Agent Training Calendar. You can see everything there, and you can register right from our website, okay? So take advantage of the live trainings. We put a lot of effort into these, and they're built for you to make sure that you're comfortable getting the message out there, okay? I don't care if you're 17 years old or you're 92 years old and you're a life insurance agent, no problem, okay? Everything was built with that in mind. It's very black and white, and if you need a little extra help, we have a virtual assistant available for you as well. Okay, if you're in the Central Florida area, we are hitting the road next week. We would love to see you. anywhere close to Orlando. We're going to have Kansas City Life, Sagicor, both approved scholarship companies. Let us know if you're interested in coming. We're going to end with this. I know I'm 1 minute late, but I hope this was time well spent for you. We know it's a lot of information. This was built just to give you that 100-foot overview. We're going to have more trainings where we dive in a little deeper on each topic, okay? So keep your eyes peeled for that. So exciting here because, you know, I remember sitting back 10, 15 years ago at NALBA and the NAIFA meetings and LIMRA and talking about e-applications and e-policy delivery, and they would look at us like we had three heads. They said we were crazy, that no consumer is going to click on an electronic app when they're used to filling out 18 pieces of paper, okay? Well, look how the times have changed. Nowadays, agents are calling saying, hey, I only want to get contracted with the companies that have an e-app, okay? So things are changing. So to see this come to fruition now, where we have competitive insurance products that are client-driven, that could be sold through email, online, networking, websites, face-to-face, laptop, all the above, it's really a dream come true. And when you see our new Amazon shopping cart platform that we have built, okay, personally, just for this process, it's mind-boggling. You're going to be so impressed. I promise you, I will not let you down. That's my promise to you. We're going to end with our Positive Tuesday quote. These are posted live on all Levinson social media outlets. 20 plus years of persistency, consistency, and perseverance will make you look like an overnight success. With that said, there are no shortcuts in this business, okay? We will hold your hand, show you every step of the way, and learn from each other. Have a great rest of your Friday, a good weekend, and great selling. Take care.